Part 10. Star Palace. The Star Palace was the palace where the emperor lived. It was also the place where the emperor handled daily government affairs, reviewed memorials, received foreign envoys, and held various family banquets. Yi Yang recalled the memory of the original owner and went to the Star Palace. Since the memory is not his own, he doesn't know how many forks he took wrong. But fortunately, every time he took the wrong road, Xiao Doubting would help him guide him on the right path in time. Brother Yi hasn't been to Star Palace for a long time? Can't even find the way? Concubine Ling's mocking voice came from behind. Hearing the voice of squeezing his throat, Yi Yang felt uncomfortable. When he turned around, he saw that Concubine Ling was wearing a fancy dress, like a butterfly, almost blinding Yi Yang's eyes. Hot eyes, hot eyes. Yi Yang really wanted to stop looking at this person. But there were all male versions of flower butterflies on the road, and he irritated his eyes wherever he looked. Yi Yang has seen Concubine Ling. I wish Concubine Ling good luck and good luck. He bowed and said with a smile, Concubine Ling is really red today. I'm afraid there is something good to share with us. Concubine Ling saw Yi Yang's attitude. You're polite, thinking of the emperor's stay in his bedroom last night. He couldn't help but want to show off. It's not that I want to thank Brother Yi. If it wasn't for Brother Yi's soap, Your Majesty probably wouldn't have come to this palace for half a night last night. The surrounding concubines heard that the emperor was staying in the palace of Concubine Ling for half the night. And a trace of envy flashed in their eyes, and they wanted more urgently for the soap invented by Yi Yang. After Yi Yang heard this, he really wanted to burst into laughter 3 times. Other people's soaps are advertised by celebrities. He is lucky, and his 3 unlicensed soaps are actually stupid enough to help him promote it. Should he be happy? Or should we be unhappy? Seeing the surrounding concubines eager to get the soap, Yi Yang thought, should he make more soaps next time? Brother Ling, you must know how to keep a low profile when doing things. Shui Chen's voice suddenly came from behind them, scaring everyone to hurriedly saluted Shui Chen, meet the imperial concubine. Shui Chen was secretly surprised. Could it be that after Yi Yang had a serious illness, he really saw everything? He looked at Yi Yang up and down, and found that Yi Yang was relaxed and dressed more normally. Compared with the flower butterflies around him, he was completely different. He always had a faint smile on his face. And he looks like not jealous at all. Yi Yang was also looking at Shui Chen, and saw that Shui Chen was dressed very solemnly today. And the dark purple clothes set off Shui Chen even more noble and extraordinary. Compared with the surrounding flowers and butterflies, Yi Yang still prefers Shui Chen's dressing style. Brother Yi, why are you today? Shui Chen pointed at Yi Yang's clothes, a little disgusted. Although Yi Yang's clothes are Chinese clothes in the folk, but compared with the surrounding flowers and butterflies, they instantly appear very simple and cheap. Imperial concubine, clothes are just external things, and what's inside is the most important thing. Let him wear fancy clothes. He would rather not go to this longevity festival. Brother Yi is really open-minded. Shui Chen admired Yi Yang even more. Open-minded? Oh, are you sure you're not poor? Concubine Ling sneered in his heart, but he didn't show it on his face. He politely said to Shui Chen, Brother Imperial Concubine, let's go to the Star Palace quickly. It's late. I'm afraid Your Majesty will be unhappy. Yes, let's chat while walking. Shui Chen nodded and walked towards the Star Palace first. Yi Yang followed behind, happy and relaxed. At least he didn't have to think about which way to go now. He was in a good mood while walking and looking at the beautiful scenery along the road. As soon as he entered the Star Palace, Yi Yang was shocked by the magnificent scene in front of him. The yellow glazed tiled double eaves and the roof of the hall are located on the single-layer white marble platform. The corridor is 9 wide and 5 deep. Hundreds of eunuchs and palace maids were busy, making the whole palace very lively. Yi Yang followed Shui Chen and the others, walking slowly towards the hall. There is a throne in the center of the hall, and there are warm pavilions at both ends. There is a plaque hanging in the center. The plaque is written with the 4 gilded characters of this dynasty's Zhongda Guang. At this time, the hall was very lively. Countless princes and ministers attended the longevity festival with their families, and Yi Yang, who had not seen a woman for a long time, was instantly attracted by the group of beautiful concubines on the left and concubines on the right. I saw that the beauties on the right were beautiful, and each had their own characteristics. Unlike the internet celebrities of Yi Yang's era, they all had big eyes and all faces. These beauties ranged from coquettish and charming, jade-like beauty, and even more gentle and graceful. It's just that each has its own merits, and I can't tell who is the most beautiful. Beauty, beauty, all beauty. Yi Yang's eyes are shining. So many beauties, I feel full just by looking at them. Brother Yi? Shui Chen paid attention to Yi Yang the whole time, and seeing that he was staring at the concubines opposite him and couldn't move his eyes, he couldn't see through Yi Yang even more. Yi Yang immediately retracted his gaze and looked at Shui Chen. Imperial concubine, is there anything? If you have something to say, don't bother me to see the beauty. Let's sit down first. Shui Chen sat on the main seat on the male concubine's side and motioned for Yi Yang to sit down too. Oh, good. Yi Yang, who was standing in the middle of the hall, also found that he was too distracting. He hurriedly sat on the side of the male concubine, his hands rested on his chin, and continued to look at the beauties across from him with a crazy face. Shui Chen really wanted to remind Yi Yang, could he calm down, but Yi Yang was a little far away from him, so he couldn't even remind him. At this moment, a sharp voice resembling a drake's voice suddenly sounded, "The emperor is here." As soon as the emperor arrived, both the princes, ministers and concubines in the hall stood up one after another. Then knelt down to the ground, and shouted loudly, "Long live my emperor!" Pulling down and kneeling on the ground. He really wanted to look up to see if the emperor of the Holy Dynasty was the same as the original owner remembered, but fearing that his head would fall, he wisely suppressed his curiosity and honestly waited for the emperor to speak. "Be flat." A low and magnetic voice sounded, although it was not loud, but everyone in the hall could hear it. Yi Yang raised his eyes and saw that everyone around him got up, so he got up and sat back to his original position. After everyone sat down, he dared to tilt his head to look at the young emperor sitting high on the throne. I saw the young emperor wearing a bright yellow robe, embroidered on the robe with a pattern of dragons in the sea, making the emperor even more mighty and extraordinary. A face with sharp lines as sharp as a knife, with long flying eyebrows slightly raised, black pupils like black jade flashing majestic light. A handsome face with a touch of sternness, with godlike majesty and innate nobility. The whole person exudes a kind of kingly air that shakes the world. Yi Yang was secretly shocked. This emperor was completely different from the emperor he saw on TV. Obviously, the emperor just sat on the throne, which gave people a sense of oppression. In his era, no one had such a situation. The king is domineering.